All right, everyone. Finally, we are here. I've been trying to get on live for the last 45 minutes. And I was having lots of technical difficulties. Hopefully, it's working now. Obviously, nobody's on right now, so I'm just filling the space with my words. But hello. It's been 2 years since I've been on YouTube, and we are about a day and a half post the election, which is a very difficult time for a lot of people. And I wanted to take this opportunity to get on live, although I wanted to be on 45 minutes ago, but all is well. We're all here in the way it's meant to be. And I wanted to create a supportive environment. I wanted to give some people just a way to feel connected and supported and maybe even inspired. We'll see. I'm seeing that we do have people hopping on now. Let me see if I can sign into this chat. Action performed inside. Guys, this is so when you haven't used your equipment in 2 years, everything needs to be updated. There are things I don't know how to use. I have a new camera, relatively new, and it had to be updated. There's so many things that had to be updated. And so let me go onto YouTube and try equipment to in 2 years. Okay, there everything needs to be updated. Hello. Let me mute myself. Here I am. Okay, so that I can see the chat. I'm going to give everybody a few minutes to hop in. Thank you so much for your patience. I was getting upset. I was like, oh, like the time was ticking. I had to watch all these videos to figure out what the hell to do and how to be on here. But I'm here. So we've got 5 people in now. We got some people coming in. Can I see you guys in the chat if you can? And let me know that you're here, where you're from. It's been a while. There's a bit of a lag that I'm noticing when I chat, but that's okay. Let me just line this up real quick. I have no clue how to use this stream. I need to talk to gamers and figure out how to use this streaming software, because I bought this camera that it gives me the ability to just plug right in and stream, but the quality's not as good. And yeah, but that's okay. So for those of you that are watching on the replay, or maybe you're fresh and new here, my name is Darienne. This is a channel that I ran many years ago. Hey, Gary from Trinidad. Oh, thank you for being here. Hopefully you can bring your energy to help support some of those that need the support for this American election. I have a lot I want to say. I have a lot I want to talk about, but yes, my name is Darienne, like Marion with a D. If you don't know me, that is how you pronounce that. I have not been on YouTube for 2 years, but prior to that, I curated a really, really beautiful spiritual community here on this YouTube channel. As you can see, if you're on my channel, I have over 34,000 followers. And so even though I haven't been on YouTube in a long while, I did create a beautiful, nice little community. And I'm hoping that y'all will show up and show out. And yeah, and we can all support one another. I think that this goes without saying. I feel like I don't need to say this to my own community, but obviously if you are somebody that is happy about the election results and want to be in here, we don't really need to hear what you have to say today. This might not be a space for you. I don't want to say it's not a space for you, but it's definitely not a space for you we're not here to have political conversation or debate, excuse me. We're not here to have political debate. We are here to support one another. If you are a follower of mine and you did vote for Trump, and you are a very loving person and spiritual person, I would invite you to stick around. and hopefully at least have compassion for the way this is affecting people and what it means for a lot of people and what they think it means for them. And at least hold space for all of us. And I know that that could even be triggering for a lot of people watching, because you could think, a lot of people I think that how could a Trump supporter be compassionate? How could they, when they voted for Trump? And there's a lot of divide in this country. There's a lot of just trauma and triggers and a lot of misunderstanding. There's just so much going on. For obviously, we're all here, we're all living it. And so, yeah, I just want to talk about that today. And again, I'm just giving people a few minutes. I'm probably going to post on Facebook. We've got about like 9 or 10 people on now. Let me know in the chat where you're from. Also want to know how you're feeling, even if you're not from this country. I know a lot of people are very involved in what's going on in America right now. And so even if you're not from America, how are you feeling? How are you feeling after this election? Even if you're on the replay, I invite you to let us know in the comments. I am going to need to post this in the on Facebook and stuff to make sure that everybody knows that this is the correct link to be on. There were people hopping on the other link and my camera wasn't working. And so I just want to post that. Here is the correct link for my live stream that I was having technical difficulties with. They have been resolved, and you haven't missed anything. Watch now. There we go. So I will post that so that people know. Ay, 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 ay. And I thought to myself, of course I couldn't just hop on. Of course there had to be some sort of struggle because I haven't been on in so long. It used to be like I was in my mojo. I was like, I wasn't as rusty as I am now. And so I was able to just hop right on. So funny. Well, we're here. We have arrived. That's A-okay. We've got some folks on. Again, let me know who you are, where you're from, and especially how you're feeling post-election, because I've been on TikTok. I know how some people are feeling, and I definitely want to address that for sure. I want to talk about how I'm feeling and how I'm kind of working through things and how I'm looking at things today. But I specifically want to know how my community is feeling. I made a joke on Instagram, like I feel like I'm that girl that just shows up when we're in a crisis. It's like, hey, haven't seen you for 2 years, but let me pop in because the shit has hit the fan. Okay, I'm also going to just change. Let me check my other Facebook thing. Ba-ba-doo-ba. Do-do-do-do. Just another hello to anybody who is joining just now. I am just waiting. I was having technical difficulties, so I'm legit 45 minutes late, which is horrible. But so I'm just kind of letting everybody know what the new link is. So that's what I'm doing right now. And in the meantime, let me know how you were feeling post-election. Because I want to know, and I have a lot to say about it. Okay, let me just change this. I'm just changing the link now. Alrighty. And I should probably send out an email as well. Okay. So also, I mean, I haven't seen you in 2 years. So if you don't want to talk exactly, or if you don't have any real feelings, maybe you're not from America, you don't have any real feelings about the election, but you just want to tell me how you've been doing for the last 2 years, because I haven't seen y'all in a long time, while I do this and let everybody know the new link. All right. Oh my God, you guys. Fucking technology. Freaking technology. Well, I have my tea. If you guys, while I send out this email letting everybody know the correct link and that they can hop on now, if you want to make yourself some tea and get settled in, because I want to hang out for a little bit and chat for a little bit. Okay, Jack says, well, I'm currently feeling hopeless with additional despair, but I'm trying to transmute this hopelessness and despair into something good, because that's the path of the alchemist. That's beautiful. I think that that's completely valid. I think a lot of people are feeling, I know a lot of people are feeling that way. I went on TikTok, was it yesterday? Oh my God. There was a Black woman that posted a video crying, and her video said, to all of the white people that voted for Kamala. I can't even get through saying what she said. It was, I'm paraphrasing, but she said, what happened to you that made you not hate us like the rest of them do? What happened to you that made you see me as human? And she was bawling her eyes out. And it puts such a fire in me to want to do this work. It's one of the reasons why I'm here, because I'm like, okay, like I haven't been online because of my own shit. Like really, I know you guys haven't seen me and you're like, what the fuck, where the fuck's this girl been? I've been depressed. I've been dealing with my own shit. I've been recovering from narcissistic abuse, which is no fucking joke. I've been recovering from a lot of trauma. I've had a lot of my old traumas come back to haunt me because of the current narcissistic abuse. Is not really current anymore, but in the last 7 years, from the father of my child. And I couldn't get myself on here. But then I turned on the radio yesterday, and around here in like New York, I'm in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And around here in New York, we have a radio station that Elvis Duran hosts. And Elvis Duran was talking about how, he's like, we're not a political station. We've never been a political station, and we won't be. But if anybody is feeling in despair, he basically was like, get out and help someone. Go be of service. Go be of service to your friends, to your family, to your community. And I thought, yeah, that's that's one way to alchemize this kind of energy. For me, this is my way, is like I could sit in my own despair, or I could make use of my empathy and my compassion, and I could give that to those who need it right now. And so that's why I'm here. That's how I was feeling. That's why it took me 45 minutes to get here, because I really just spur of the moment was like, okay, like Elvis Duran was like, serve people. And I was like, okay, yeah, I'll do a YouTube live. And I'm here, So, yeah. So then I watched that woman. Sorry, I'm trying to send this email so people know the correct email address and I'm talking at the same time. But yeah, when I heard that woman, there's something in me. So I grew up, and I've been vocal about this. I grew up in a Black neighborhood, predominantly Black neighborhood. And I have a biracial daughter. She's half Asian. And so, my best friends were Black. The kids I went to school with, like the people in my neighborhood, the girls I played double dutch with out on the street were all mostly Black. There's maybe one or two white girls that I hung out with on my street. And I had some Hispanic girlfriends from church. And I went to a mostly predominantly Asian church, Asian-owned church. And, I live in just outside of Philadelphia, in the Philadelphia suburbs, if you could call it that. And we are a very diverse community. And so much so that my high school of nearly 5,000 kids is nicknamed the High School of United Nations, because there are like hundreds. I think there's they said it at my daughter's graduation a couple years ago, but I feel like it was around like 180 or maybe 100. I don't know if it's around 150, but it's 100 something different countries are represented in our school district, or at least in that school. And so when there's a human being that I can see feels like they are not loved or accepted because of something they have no control over, and because of the thing that I think makes them beautiful, makes them wonderful, makes them just as much worthy or even more worthy than just being a human being. Like, when I see the pain that they go through, whether it is anyone that's not a white man, really, whether it's because they are Black, white, Asian, or Black, Asian, Hispanic, Latino, if that's the correct way to say that, or trans, queer, like anything that makes them feel like that is any reason to not be completely loved, accepted, and safe in this world. It guts me to my core. It guts me because, it's just, I feel the same way that I would feel if, it's a slap in the face to my own child. Like, I'm going to protect my child. It's if somebody went up to your best friend and started, spewing hateful things at them, you would have this kind of like gut reaction to defend them and to protect them because you love them and you know how precious and beautiful they are. That's how I feel. Like, I want to start fighting people when I hear that. When I hear that there are fucking Black women on TikTok bawling their eyes out because they feel hated in their own communities. That shit is, it infuriates me to no words. Like, it pains me. And it makes me want to take that away from them. Like, it makes me want to take that lie. Like, don't carry that lie. Do not carry that lie. They want you to believe that lie, that you are not worthy of just existing, let alone worthy of existing in a safe community, worthy of being loved and feeling that love and experiencing that love, worthy of support, worthy of knowing that every part of you is worthy. Like, anything that other people are wanting to make you believe that is any less than everything I just said is not true. Don't carry it. And I want to tell everybody I'm seeing on TikTok that I'm seeing carry the lie that other people are letting them believe, that hateful people are letting them believe. And it just, I'm going to try to calm down a little bit because I want to send this email out so that people know that we're in the right space, that this is the right thing. And then I want to talk more about it. But it is, but yes, the despair, yes, all of this is valid. Absolutely. It's all valid. Jerry, hi, Jerry. Thank you for showing up. I know, Jerry, you were trying to get onto the last one and said that it wasn't working because my video wasn't working. But Jerry says, thank you for allowing us to share with you our thoughts and anxieties. Yes, please, please. Please share with me if you're just hopping on. Let us know in the comment section if you're able to comment. I don't know if y'all are driving or anything, but if you're able to comment, let us know, how are you feeling after this election? I am going to be sharing some insights. I'm going to be sharing with you a way to, as Jack said, alchemize and transmute some of that despair, some of that rage. I'm going to be giving you, I'm going to try at least to suggest maybe some new ways of looking at things and ways to utilize your own eternal power. Do not lose sight of the fact that you're an eternal spirit. You're an eternal spirit, and we are all connected to something well above and higher and greater than just American politics and like who runs the country for the next 4 years. Like, we're connected to something so much bigger than that. And we've got this. We at least have the power to bring forth that which we desire to see in this world. So I'm just going to send this email really quick so people know of the new link. So just give me a second. We were having some tech issues, but we have just hopped on live now. So if you can join, here is the new link. Thanks for your patience. Thank you, everybody, for your patience. I really appreciate it. I was saying earlier, I don't know if you were on, but I was saying earlier that I haven't touched my equipment in 2 years. So, so everything needed to be updated. Things were not working. It was like a whole thing. I'm rusty. Okay. New link. New link. New link. Send to subscribers. Oh my gosh. We were having tech issues, but we're live now. But we're live now. Here's the I need an assistant, guys. That's what I need. If I'm going to come back out roaring, I'm going to need an assistant. Anybody know a virtual assistant? Jerry says, my favorite quote from Ted Kennedy: for all those who care have been our concern. The work goes on, the cause, and the hope still lives, and the dream shall never die. Exactly. And that's kind of what I want to talk about today. So let's talk about where I was and how I kind of handled the election night. I was feeling really optimistic, but if I'm honest, around July or August, I really just accepted, because that was when it was still Biden, and I really just accepted it was going to be Trump. And I just started to go through the process of accepting my reality. Things are different now than they were in 2016. Back in 2016, once Trump was elected, I did a whole after the election video. I did a whole live. It was very painful, but I said sort of the same thing I'm going to say today. That was 8 years ago. We have grown so much. And all of us in the spiritual community who do the real work within ourselves, we know that the healing process is ugly. It's real ugly, and it doesn't look pretty, and you can't package it with a pretty little bow, and I do think a lot of nowadays, there's a lot in the conversation of the work that we do in the spiritual community, in this healing community. There's a lot of work that starts like, you hear terms like pseudo spirituality. And you see a lot of people making self-care, like self-care is beautiful. We need self-care, but sometimes making it look pretty, like making the healing process look pretty, and making self-care look pretty. Sometimes self-care is oftentimes self-care is ugly crying. Oftentimes self-care is gutular screams. Oftentimes self-care doesn't feel good. Like it I don't want to say it doesn't feel good, but healing. Oftentimes healing doesn't feel good. And it's scary, and you got to face your own fucking demons, and sometimes it feels like your whole body, like it's the wrong thing to do, but it's the right thing to do. That it's because you're not used to taking the path you should be taking, because you've used things outside of yourself as a crutch. And so now you need to stop using those things as a crutch, and it's painful, and all you want to do, maybe if you're healing from, addiction or something, all you want to do is grab a drink, or all you want to do is smoke that weed, or all you want to do is whatever that thing is, that vice is. All you want to do is talk to your partner, talk to an ex-partner who's toxic for you. Like, all you want to do is do that toxic thing because your body is viscerally, like physically actually attached to it and addicted to it. But something and even sometimes your mind, but something in your spirit knows that this is the right path. So by the time election day came, which was 2 days ago, I was feeling pretty good. I was feeling like I was excited I was picturing the first female president. I was going to bawl my eyes out if she really became the first female president. I was going to bawl my eyes out. Same way I felt in 2016, except in 2016, I think all of us were maybe a little bit more naive. And what I'm noticing is, a lot of young people who didn't vote in 2016 voted this year and didn't experience the pain of 2016 and how much we were like, what? Like, how is this even possible? And, all of the polls were telling us different, or all of the people who were projecting projecting what the election results would be. They said, like all of that was looking like it was going to be different. That pain for me wasn't there. I really prepared myself for that. But I do recognize that a lot of people didn't necessarily do that. And I also recognize that that's not really a voluntary thing for some of us. For some of us, the trauma has been so great that it might have been hard not to attach yourself to the possibility of our first female president, but also all the promise that brought. And so I get that. And I validate that. I see that. I wholeheartedly validate that. But I was ready to. It was funny. I posted a little thing. I wore like a long black dress, and I said, "I'm either going to be honoring the goddess or in mourning at the end of this." And I was frantically up all night, like I could not sleep. But also, I think that that's because I drank caffeine. I never drink caffeine, and I drank caffeine that morning. And if I don't, I rarely drink caffeine, and when I do, it's like every couple of months, and I'm up for 2 days, like one little small cup of, and it's not even coffee, it's tea. It's like Earl Grey tea. And that's how sensitive I am. And I'll be up for 2 days. Like that will fuel me for 2 days. It's wild. But anyway, so I was like jittery. I just couldn't sleep. And then they announced him. Well, here's the thing. Prior to all of that, right when I put on my black dress, and it was like right after 7, and I began watching the election coverage, I did a spell. I did a candle spell. I lit a very long black candle, taper candle. I put crystals around it. I said a prayer to the goddess, essentially that this would be in her hands. That the goddess would take over and whatever her will would be. And of course, I set the intention of, when I pray to the goddess in this instance, it's, for me, seeing the first female president is a symbol for me personally, and for a lot of women, especially women like myself who are witches or in the spiritual community. It was an awakening of the goddess back into the earth, back into the physical, like reawakening the goddess, the healing of the feminine in all of us, not just in women, but we're just sort of a physical manifestation, I suppose you could say, of that. And so that's sort of what that meant for me. And so I was setting that intention in doing that, in lighting that candle. That candle went out around the same exact time that Trump was announced the president. And so that he announced himself the winner prior to everybody else announcing, he has my victory, And that happened before the candle went out. But once the news station started, saying that he was the projected winner, when he came up and announced his victory, the way I was feeling, I almost cried. I almost went right back into the 2016 way I was feeling. Don't mind the thing that keeps beeping. It's my doorbell. Needs new batteries. My doorbell camera. If you can hear that. So anyway, I started to feel that feeling of that same 2016. But I had this sense that this wasn't my energy, I was really just feeling the collective energy. So I put up a big protection bubble around myself, around my whole house. And, with the intention to just feel my own feelings. And then I felt, if I'm honest, I was like, fuck this. Fuck this. I'm fucking done. I'm not doing this shit no more. Fuck this. I'm not working hard to fucking fight for human rights. I'm not doing all this shit for nothing to work, right? I'm done. So I'm just going to focus on my damn self and focus on my own space and focus on my own energy and manifesting what I desire in my own space, and fuck this. And I was really feeling like I really just gave up. But there's sort of magical, beautiful thing that occurred for me when I did that. And if you followed me a long time ago, or if you follow Abraham Hicks, I talk about Abraham Hicks often. And one thing that Abraham talks about is giving up. Because when you give up, you release resistance. And releasing resistance allows our natural well-being to come through. And for me, I feel like that is what happened. I gave up. And then all of a sudden, I felt peace. And as soon as that candle went out, I felt that was confirmation. And what I mean by that is, I feel this sense personally, and I'm not saying you should feel this, I'm just saying this is how I personally feel. Because I cast that spell, I trust in my own magic. That's first and foremost. I trust in my connection to the divine, and I can't say I always trusted in my own magic, to be honest, not in the last few years. But I have been practicing some stronger magic lately, and it's getting me more in tune with my power, my connection. And so I believe in my own magic. I believe that was absolute confirmation. What's my knowingness is now is that, and this is what I want to share with you the most. This is really why I want to be here to talk to you. It does not matter what is going on in the physical. It does not matter what the physical current conditions are out in the world. In fact, even more so doesn't matter what the media shows you is going on in the world, because that's like really through the eyes of somebody else. It doesn't matter what's going on in the White House, in DC. It doesn't matter, because our evolution is inevitable. We've been evolving. The vision that I have for the world I'm creating, because I'm a powerful being, and I know that I can create the world that I desire, because I know how to manifest, and I know how to access at least even a little bit of my power, and I know that I have an infinite amount of power. I know that what I feel in my heart of hearts, the sense that I'm feeling is that this is just the messiness on the road to where we're going. It feels like walking through a hurricane or a tornado, but having the path laid out for me. And my only job, my only duty in this is to stay on the fucking path. What that looks like practically is disengaging from the bullshit. Gary Clark says, it certainly doesn't matter. 100, absolutely. And so let this live stream be a reminder to any of you that are feeling distraught. Because I know, well, Gary, you said you're not here in the US. You're in Trinidad, right? Is that where you said you were from? For some reason the message isn't there anymore. But for those of us that are in it, and we feel the energy, we feel the hate, we feel the division, it is difficult. And sometimes you need a reminder. Sometimes you need a friend to look at you and say, girl, you got this, or boy, you got this. Right? Like sometimes you need somebody to remind you who you are and remind you how powerful you are. And so let that be this. It does not matter. It does not matter. Remember back in the day when I used to talk about manifesting, and I used to talk about how I could be in the worst traffic. And I know I'm just talking about traffic, but like traffic is hectic sometimes, especially in the Northeast, okay? Traffic is hectic, but I could be in the worst traffic. And all I need to do is disengage from what I'm currently seeing, meaning mentally let it go. It doesn't exist anymore. We're just not even going to think about it. You know what we're going to think about? We're going to focus on what the desire is. What's the intention? What do I want to feel? Okay, well, when I would be in traffic, I would be like, okay, I want to see a clear road. I want to feel freedom to just go. I want to get to my destination quickly and easily. I want to feel ease in my body. I want to feel peace. I want to feel, oh, even a little bit of that lucky feeling you get when you get all green lights the whole way through, right? And then what would happen next is I would let all that go. I would let go of my vision. I would let go of everything. I would come back. Now I'm just in the present moment. I'm in the traffic, but I'm not thinking about the thoughts. I'm not fueling the thoughts. I'm just moving about my business as usual. And then I wait for the universe to get itself together. Then what looks like in the physical, it's all kinds of shit. All kinds of shit is going on. And if I so quickly go to the next seemingly negative thing and I say, oh no, that's bad, it's stopping my vision, my thing isn't manifesting, all I'm doing is prolonging what I desire. Instead, what I do is I just have this, I'm just going to wait and let the universe get its shit together. Because what the universe is doing is, here was your previous vision, right? Right? Your previous vision got you caught in traffic. Okay, got me stuck in a shitload of traffic, and I'm hectic, and I'm late for my thing, and it's not feeling good, and there's stress and anxiety and all that. That was my previous vision because I wasn't really clear on what I was envisioning, and so this was just my expectation. So the universe was serving my expectation, right? Like it was serving it. It was just doing what that was. Then I shifted my expectation. I was like, oh no, yeah, I want peace. I want this. So the universe is going to scramble to try to get there. And it's going to look, sometimes it looks shitty, right? It could look like people honking at each other. It could look like somebody crossing all through the traffic and being that asshole that rides the shoulder of the whole highway, and then everybody's mad. You know, it could look like anything. If you stay in faith and trust, and know that that's not your business. How the universe is shifting is not your business. You let the universe shift on its own. That's not your business. That's not my business. You just stay in trust. You stay in gratitude for it coming. You stay in the joy of its existence. You just keep vibing with the desire. And then it shifts. And then you say thank you. And then you give praise, right? Let me just read some of these comments. Former Speaker of the House, Tip O'Neill, was famous for saying that all politics is local. That is going to be my focus as we move forward. That's really beautiful. That's really beautiful. And with you saying that, for some reason, Gary, your messages keep retracting. It's like I see that you said yes, and then your message retracted. I don't know if you're retracting them or they just retracted themselves. I have no clue. But anywho, so with the local thing, I love that you said that, Jerry, because let me give some advice, because liberals are an empathetic group. We're an empathetic group of people, right? Which means that we are deeply compassionate, sometimes to a fault, and we carry the pain of those around us. The struggle and the trouble with that is that we can, when it comes to politics in all of the United States and everything that's going on, there has been so many horrific things happening. I'm sure that you are all very aware of it. But especially for me, especially as a woman, seeing the women's productive rights be taken away and what that means for women in Texas. We've heard like an insane number of women that have been having to carry their, I don't know if I can say this word on YouTube. I don't know how things are anymore, but their abuser, we'll say, on carry their abuser's child, their sexual abuser's child. I don't know if I could say the grapest words. I know TikTok is I think that YouTube is okay for me to say that, but you never know that they might flag this. But yes, so that is so easy for us empathetic people to carry that pain of those women. Like, it is so easy for me to think about how traumatizing it must be for those women. Like, you can't even fathom it. It's like 26,000 women. It's insane. But if we don't come into the present moment and focus our mind into us, like right now, I know if you're on TikTok, you've heard about the 4B movement. The 4B movement is essentially women no longer dating men, having sex with men, like completely off of that. For those of you that have been watching my channel for a long time, was it back in 2018? I made a whole video about me becoming consciously single. I said I was going to try it for 4 months. Well, it's been 7 years since I've been single. And yeah, I've been single it's been 6 years since that video. I'm still single and I'm completely celibate. I've been celibate for many years. And it looks like I might be celibate for the next 4. But because I'm celibate, I personally don't have to worry about an abortion. I personally do not have to worry about getting pregnant at this moment right now. I am now questioning, if I'm honest, I was wanting to have another child in the future, and now I'm like, that gets me emotional to say, but like that dream might be dying if, because I don't think personally that as a woman, it would be smart for me to become pregnant knowing, like in the next 4 years, knowing that my Senate just turned from Democratic to Republican, and it is pretty highly likely that abortion will become illegal in this state. And I am almost 40 years old, and I'm considered an at-risk pregnancy. And, as much as I can manifest, I'm also a realist, and I'm not going to be stupid about things. And so I would need to know that, if there were any trouble during my pregnancy, that I could safely miscarry and get the care that I need if I miscarry. Like, I need to know all of these things. So that's something that I have to consider. But the whole point of me saying this is that right now, right here, in this body, in this present moment, that is not a threat to me in this present moment. And that's where we need to come back to. I can't carry the pain of every woman in America if I'm going to do anything to change that. So I'm not telling people to stick their heads in the sand. I am saying stick your head in the sand for like a week to come back to yourself. I'm telling you to stick your head in the sand for as long as you need to come back to yourself so that you can find your power again. Because we need you to be powerful. We need me to be powerful. I am feeling right now like there are many ways that we can make change that are different than what we've been doing. What I see right now is that, we marched out on the streets and it made some change and it made some impact, but not enough. We put our bodies on the line. We put our stress on the line. We stressed for one another. We learned all of these new terminologies for what is going on in our world so that we could identify and help to educate and spread that word. But the problem with that is that it didn't educate those people that we see online mostly that are Trump supporters that seem to really just not give a fuck about learning about women's rights or DEI. Most of them don't even know, most of them that I've seen online, not all Trump supporters. I know a lot of Trump supporters. To be honest, I know a lot of Trump supporters. There's a lot in my community. There's a lot in my family. There's a lot, my best friends, some of my best friends are Trump supporters. But the ones that we see online, the ones that are the extremes that we see online, they don't even know what DEI means. And so one thing that I'm seeing is that as far as future, as far as how are we really going to make this change happen, I think that education is really, really necessary, but I think we need to stop using all these buzzwords like DEI and weaponized incompetence in feminist movements. And I'm not saying don't use those words. I love that we have those words for people who are already liberal and already in this community and able to be able to put a word to what we are experiencing feels so fucking validated. To be able to put a word to weaponized incompetence, which is when a man essentially, well, it's not only men, but a lot of feminists use that term for men who essentially pretend like they can't do things. Like they'll say things to their partner, to their female partner about, let's say, taking care of the children. They'll say something like, but you're so much better than me at that. Right? It's weaponizing their incompetence. So those words are great for the liberals that need the terminology. But on the other side of it, I feel like just expressing what that is, I think is more important now. We have somebody in the comment section that I'm just going to hide. You know how it goes. Shit happens. So, I think having more conversations, and I think that the reason I'm saying this is because what I see on the other side and a lot of Trump supporters is you're seeing Democrats looking at Trump supporters and being like, you guys are just dumb. You don't know what you're talking about. You're just uneducated. You know, we'll never get or they'll say things like, they'll use these words like DEI and weaponizing competence and critical race theory and like all that stuff. They don't know what that means. They don't really know what that means. But now it's been hijacked by the other side to use as these horrible, like these are horrible things. And to me, like it feels a lot like when the Bible tells Christians to hate witches, but they don't, because witchcraft is the big buzzword. That means you're evil and you're going to hell. And I'm like, I know as a witch, I do the exact same thing that you do in church. It's just, I just do it at home. And I don't necessarily pray to Jesus, but you know, like I do the same things. Like we're both like, I'm doing the same thing as when I go to my Catholic church down the street. I haven't been there in a long time, but Catholic church down the street is burning incense and saying prayers and lighting candles. Like I'm doing the same exact thing. But they just hear the buzzword, right? So it feels more to me, like how I could serve is just exposing people to, like, you know, that subtle exposure to the evolution of where we are and where we're going, rather than I need to teach you this thing and it's called DEI. It's called this. Let me teach you about feminism. Like when we put those words on it and then start shouting out that people are wrong about things, it's really caused more divide. And also the fact that it is so tempting for us to watch all this shit online and watch all of the media and engage. And I think now, for me, what I'm feeling is just not even engage. Like, don't engage in any of this, because this isn't the world that I want to continue to create. This is not the world I want to be a part of. I do not want to be responsible for continuing to manifest this world. And I have been. Like, I've been engaging. Even if not necessarily we're commenting back to people, but even just reading it or watching the thing and thinking the thoughts about it, it's just not serving us. It could be true in the moment, but it's not serving us. It's just not serving us. And we know in anything that we want to manifest, anything that we want to create, whatever we give our attention to is what we give life to. So I want to take this opportunity, some of you are still here with me, let's talk about the world we want to envision. So I want to give you guys a chance if you want to comment. What is the world that you intend to live in? And I will say too that, like I said, some of my friends are Trump supporters. I had a lot of people this election, actually switch from Democratic to voting for Trump. And so I don't see, as even though it's so easy to feel the pain of thinking that every single person that voted for Trump is a racist or every single person voted for Trump hates women, I totally see how we could come to that conclusion. But this election feels a little bit different in the sense that there were, especially that war in Gaza, there were a lot of Gen Z kids that just were so against that they ended up voting third party. Like, there were some different things that came about that made it so that it wasn't just a straight only racists are voting for Trump. It felt in 2020 like only the racists were voting for Trump. Like, it felt like that to me. But this time around, it doesn't feel like that. And so I've had very difficult conversations. Like, my cousin was a stark liberal her whole life. Her mom's a liberal. Her mom goes to the women's marches still, and she's 75 years old, and and will always be probably a liberal. But my cousin is now a Trump supporter, and we had a very difficult but loving conversation because we both were like, listen, both of us were like, I know that I love you. And I know that you are a good, kind, generous person. And so I really want to hear you out on this one. And it was tough. And you know what? She texted me yesterday and was like, I know that this might be difficult for you. And I got really emotional, but she said, I want you to know that I love you and I don't want you to feel dejected because of the election results. Like, that I'm happy about the results, but I don't want you to feel this way. But I also want to point out, she herself personally does not agree with an abortion ban necessarily, or I'm not sure that she really said that, but she was more like, he made it for the states. Like, that was her stance on it. It wasn't like she certainly is not this evangelical Christian who's wanting to take over the world. And so, just consider that for anybody who's feeling like now everybody who voted for Trump hates me. And it's like, I get that there's so much evidence that would make you feel like that. But I am one of those liberal people who didn't cut every Trump supporter. I did cut a lot of Trump supporters out of my life, especially in 2020. And so there are a lot of family members I do not speak to, and I will not speak to, because they are outwardly racist and they do not get to be a part of my life. But I have a lot of friends that have been great, beautiful supports for me. And they are beautiful people. And I can guarantee you they are beautiful people, because I would not be friends with them if they weren't. And they are Trump supporters. They're not screaming at the rooftop Trump supporters. They're more quiet Trump supporters. But so they're not Trump. Let's say they're not like the diehard cult fan kind of Trumpist, but oh, beautiful. Aliki, hi. Dreaming of a world of balanced energies, feminine, masculine, light, darkness. Can you tell me what that looks like for you? Because I love that. And I also want to point out, the one thing I've been trying to do for years now, and this is going to be the catalyst now, is doing a podcast. And I will come back. I will do another video probably about where the hell I've been and about more about me and all of that. But the podcast is called the Light Meets Dark podcast. And it is completely about balancing energies. It is about alchemy, which some of us talked about. Oh my gosh, there's like a whole bunch of people on now. Thank you so much for being here. If you just showed up, I did just ask, what is the world that you want to see and you want to live in? But I also want to know, if you're just joining, because now a bunch of people are joining, how are you feeling after this election? How are you feeling? And what is the world that you want to see in? See us all live in. Yeah, so the podcast that's why I bought all this equipment to do a podcast. Light Meets Dark, the Light Meets Dark podcast. You heard it here first. The Light Meets Dark podcast. So one thing I think the most important thing that I want to tell everyone, and I'm not sure if it's the people that are in this particular community, but hey, you could listen to this and then go share it with the people that aren't in this community, that don't know what we know, that aren't as tuned in, tapped in, turned on as we know how to be. And you could share this little insight that I want to share. So many people, and I get it because I did this in 2016, and a little bit of me is doing this now, but trying to just keep as neutral as I possibly can. So many of us, and it's so easy to say now, because Donald Trump is going to be president in January, all these horrible things are what is going to happen. Now, that's our trauma speaking, okay? Our trauma, our brain, has a special little device that keeps us protected. And what it does is, how it operates is, it takes everything that's happened in the past. It takes specifically all of the negative things. It actually is designed, our survival mechanism is designed to point out the negative things that have happened and then project them into the future to give us an idea of how things might be. Jerry, you're feeling confused. Do you want to share more about that? If you want to share, what are you feeling confused about? Are you feeling confused that it's Trump all over again? Or is there something specific? And thank you for sharing your thoughts with us. Yeah, you're welcome. I'm happy to. Thank you for being here and listening. But so our brain works that way. Our brain says all these horrible things are going to, because this is the way it was. And, I would encourage you to not try to place meaning on what has occurred yesterday, right? Ben Savage. Have any of you actually taken the time to listen to Trump speak or just hear what others say about him after twisting his words? Ben, well, for one, Ben, it does sound like you are a Trump supporter, which is fine. Welcome. Thank you for coming in and approaching this civilly. And not just coming in like Trump, I appreciate that. I have absolutely. I have not only listened to Trump, I have listened to Trump supporters. I just got finished. I'm not sure if you were here, but I did just get finished talking about how I had a deep conversation with my friend who switched over to, no support for either side. Okay. Who switched over to Trump, and it was a very difficult conversation. Both of us really struggled with the conversation, but because we both love each other, I understand why some people are voting for Trump. I also know that, or did vote for Trump. I also know that I went on TikTok and I went on to the other side of TikTok. I went on to the Trump side of TikTok to see what really was going on. And if you've ever done that, if you've ever tried to go from the liberal side of TikTok to the conservative side of TikTok, is there a strange echo on my thing? Let me know. I just realized that the comments are going up on the screen. But if you do that, you will realize that the algorithm really can twist your brain up. I mean, you'll be thinking things you weren't even believing before. And so I do know, and I dated a reporter, so I know how the media is, and I know that there wasn't an echo. And when you started, oh, but there is one now. I don't know why. The algorithm. Let me just see. I don't know. Yeah, there's no echo here. Let me see. I do know, and I dated a reporter, so I know how the media is, and I know that there wasn't an echo. And when you started, oh yeah, I hear. Oh, but there is one now. I don't know why. I don't know why. The algorithm. Let me just see. I don't know. Yeah, there's no echo here. Yeah, I hear it. It sounds. It does sound. It's like not an echo. It just sounds like I'm all of a sudden I'm in a spaceship. It could just be because I've been on for so long and like my computer's like, it's too much. It's barely noticeable. Okay. Let me just read some of these comments because yes, I believe that we are definitely, all of us, every single one of us, we are influenced by what media we are consuming. It does sound, it's like not an echo. It just sounds like I'm all of a sudden I'm in a spaceship. There's something else that somebody. It could just be because I've been on for so long and like my computer's like. Jerry, my first thoughts were after the election, what am I missing? Oh, the half the country voted for a fascist. That's how you were feeling. Okay, and then everybody's talking about the echo. Thank you so much, Darienne, for the first 24 hours. I was not very civil. Yeah, so I think that disengaging is really important. But what I was getting at prior to all of that was, that's crazy, isn't it? How influenced we can be one another or another from social media, TV. Yes. Dreaming of harmonious, constructive coexistence. Beautiful. I love that. So, yes, we can be heavily influenced. That's why I took it upon myself to go to the Trump side of TikTok. But let me tell you something. The Trump side, like, it's not pretty. It's not pretty. But I can see why people feel the way they feel having watching that content. You can feel like I was starting to feel things, and I was like, "Whoa, what is going on? Like, I'm what?" And so for anybody, I would say, get off that content because it is brainwashing all of us, in one way or another, and get off of line and talk to real people. Talk to real people, specifically your friends, specifically the people you already know and you love them. Don't just go having political conversations with any old body, because I just wouldn't recommend that. In my honest opinion, I believe we just witnessed the liberal movement in its current form collapse because of identity politics. I hope the Democratic Party reforms itself these next 2 years. Yeah. I was just watching. Thanks for the stream. Oh, I'm grateful to be here. Thank you for being with me. I was just watching listening to Trevor Noah's podcast, and that's exactly what they were talking about how Trump basically just hijacked the entire Republican Party, because it's not what it was before Trump. And now somebody needs to do that for the Democratic Party. This is evolution, guys. Evolution looks messy. It's just evolution. And one thing that I do think that all of us want, whether we know what that will look like or not, is that we want to live in a better world. We want to feel a sense of unity. We want to feel a sense of community. We all want to feel like we belong. We all want that. Not everybody agrees on how we're going to get there, but we all want that. Different people have different backgrounds and experiences, and therefore different perspectives. Absolutely. There are great people on both sides, and there are very difficult people on both sides. True. And see, the thing is, there is a lot. The media does not help, because we are seeing the worst of, as a liberal, I'm seeing the worst of Trump supporters. But also, I am going to have to say, I know a lot of Trump supporters. I am in 2020, I think, My town was red. Thank God it was blue this time because I feel a little bit safer. I feel horrible for my Black neighbors who all look very sad. Some of them look like they can't even say hi to me because I don't have like a sign that says I voted for Kamala on my head. But I will say, even the closest of my Trump supporter friends are not educated. They are not educated on the issues. They really don't know what they're voting for. They really don't understand that. I'm not saying that that's everybody, but I'm saying that the ones that I know that I have sat down and talked to, now there are some that I have sat down and talked to, and they make good points. And I still don't know how they came to the same conclusion, but they make great points. But that's not even why I'm here. I'm not here to talk about that it should be Trump or it should have been Kamala. Actually, exactly what I was just saying is we can't look at, or we can, you can do whatever you want, but just a suggestion, looking at the election results and saying, this is what that means for us now is not serving us. We don't know. I'm an actual psychic, and I'm not going to sit here and try to project the future. I'm not going to sit here and try to predict the future. I'm not going to sit here and try to say, oh, this is all the horrible things. Of course we know what could happen. If, everybody's afraid of this Project 2025. Of course we know all the horrible things, but it doesn't serve us to be there. It doesn't serve us. It only is going to give us anxiety. And if we are being really realistic, we have evolved too much. We've already evolved. Let me just read some comments and then I want to talk a little bit more about that. We are more alike than different. I love that. By different, I mean different bodies. Yeah. Right. Everyone who disagrees with me is clearly uneducated as well. No, that's not what I'm saying. And I didn't say that. I'm saying I've had actual conversations with some people, and the people, perfect example, I have a friend that literally said, she said, I just keep my head in the sand. I don't know anything about politics. I don't know anything about what's going on in the world. And I'm just going to vote for Trump. Literally, that came out of her mouth. And that's my own personal experience. I'm not saying that all Trump supporters are uneducated at all. I will say all of us are getting our education from different spaces. That's definitely for sure. But yeah, that's not what I'm here to talk about. So anybody that did just join, I said this earlier, this is not a conversation about, I'm not here to debate Trump versus Kamala or any of the ideals or any of that. I'm here to support the people who are struggling right now. If you don't want to be supportive, I'm okay with people being Trump supporters and being in here. That's totally fine. If you want to be, this is a loving and supportive, this is a spiritual community, and this is a loving and supportive community. And we are all here for compassion and for evolution and for healing. And so if you want to be a part of that, that's totally please by all means be a part of that. But we're not debating here. Yes, it seems the Republican Party is populist conservative party right now. I'm personally not a conservative at all, but I like the populism side of things. Audio just went back to normal. Yay! The blue-red divide is a false dichotomy. The system is geared toward emotional incontinence. It's a win-lose scenario. Yes, I love that, Frank. Thank you. That we're questioning. It's always other than that we're questioning the system, right? We're questioning the system. We're rising above this. And what I said earlier, for those that did just hop on, is that it does not matter. It does not matter what the world looks like right now. We can use our minds to manifest whatever it is we desire. And so try not to put too much meaning to this. We can do that in our personal lives. I can say, because this one thing happened, it means all horrible things are going to happen. It's so easy for me to say, because I had a child with a highly narcissistic man, that my daughter's going to turn out awful. That's what that means. Or she's going to struggle in life. And then that doesn't serve me. It doesn't serve me to try to project out into the future what I think is going to happen and then live according to that. That does not serve me. What serves me is to be in my present moment, not let my mind go wild, disengage from the negative, from the things I don't desire. I don't desire division. I don't desire any of that. I do desire to stand up for what I believe in. I do desire to create boundaries for my own personal self. And like, if there are people, anybody, doesn't matter who you support politically, if there are people in my life that I don't jive with, that don't make me feel good, that in fact want to tear me down or tear down the people that I love, I don't want anything to do with you. I don't give a fuck who you support or don't support. Do you know what I'm saying? Oh my gosh. Okay, sorry. There's somebody in here being a fucking asshole, so I'm just gonna get him out of the comments. Yeah. So, it's really, that's my message, is that let's not try to project or to predict what will happen in the future, because our power lies right here, right now, in the present moment, within ourselves. We are able to manifest for ourselves. We are able to focus within the mind, within ourselves, and really continue to focus on the world we want to see. I don't think that we are as divided in the world we want to see, in the world we want to live in. As I was saying earlier, like, we all want to live in a safe world. We all want to feel good. Though there may be people who have beliefs about you that are not in alignment with who you know yourself to be, that's fine. Oh man, we're gonna have to get off, because now we're getting some shitty people on here. So I am going to hop off, because I've been on for too long, and now we're getting some stragglers in, and especially probably because I'm talking about politics, and that's a big buzz thing. So I just want to thank everybody for being here. I do hope that anything that I said here helps at all, and just a little welcome back. It's been 2 years since I've been on here, and I want to thank you. Yeah, the trolls are hungry tonight. Yeah. Guys, you'd be surprised, being a remotely attractive woman on a live. We get a lot of, or even just being a woman on a live, we get a lot of the assholes. And so I am just, reporting everybody and taking their comments off. So, all right, everybody, thank you so much for being here. Please know that I will be coming back. And you will see more of me. I'm just deleting people. All brothers and sisters under God, our human characters will have their own preferences, but we don't have to identify with our emotions, thoughts, and preferences. Yes. Sad. Have a great. I know. Yeah, it sucks doing a live. This is a public live. It's to be expected. It's okay. But I guess just to thank you so much. Thank you everybody for being on here with me today. I appreciate it. I know that, shit's just heated. Also, we're just on the internet. There's like kids on the fucking internet just being shitty, probably. That's just how it is. But yes, so you will see more of me. Please go to my website, DarienneEmpire.com, and you can sign up. Well, obviously you're subscribed if you're talking here, which is funny because everybody, oh, no, you didn't have to subscribe. That's right. I thought that I changed this, that you had to subscribe in order to comment, but if you're not subscribed, subscribe. So that you get more updates from me. Also, you can join my email list because I have a lot going on there. If you are in the Philadelphia area, I'm actually teaching a class, an intro to self energy healing class in Pottstown, PA, which is like a little bit outside of Philadelphia. So if you want to join that, the class is filling up very fast. It's on December 1st. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for being patient with me with all of the technical issues that I was having. I really appreciate that. I want to, moving on further, I would like to start doing like Google Meet lives rather than YouTube lives to avoid this. And so that we can, I think one of the things that we've lost online, which we used to have online because prior to 2020, prior to the pandemic, nobody was online other than really people that wanted to have these beautiful discussions, people that didn't feel like they really had like-minded people in their everyday life. They came online. And so, oh, you just found my channel. Welcome. Yeah, make sure you subscribe. I haven't been on for 2 years, and yeah, it's been a long time, and I'm back now. But God, I don't know what the fuck I was just saying. I also have ADHD, so bear with me. No, but what we lost was a sense of community, a sense of intimacy, that real deep connection that we used to be able to get on like my Facebook lives that I used to do, and even on my YouTube lives, we used to be able to have this. But even then, I would have, there was always like a dude hitting on me in my fucking comment section. It's fucking weird. So I had to, okay, guys, had to handle it gracefully and block people and tell them to shut the fuck up sometimes. But yeah, I would like to maybe do more Google Meets, but I think there's only like 100 people are allowed on there. So yeah, go to DarienneEmpire.com. It's spelled just like this channel name, DarienneEmpire.com, and sign up for my mailing list. I was going to say, this is the first update I've seen in a while. Yeah, it's been 2 years. Thank you so much. Thank you, Frank. Thank you for everybody who was a part of this conversation, no matter who you supported in this. Thank you for being graceful. Thank you for your kindness. Thank you for joining us. I consider the election to be a test to see how well composed. Yes, it is a test of faith, for sure, for sure. And I found a way to love everyone. It feels very good to lose any hate I used to have. Oh, that's beautiful. Same. I'm feeling like, I just want to exercise compassion for everybody, for anybody who I think was, it's difficult for me because a lot of Trump supporters that look like that like typical kind of redneck Budweiser drinking Trump supporter looks like a lot of my family members. Most of my family members live in Florida and look like your typical, Florida man that we see, that kind of like uneducated, country bumpkin. Like, that's my family. And so it's a little triggering for me because I grew up in spaces like that, and I feel so unseen in spaces like that. And so, yeah, exercising compassion for that definitely benefits all of us. So I want to continue this conversation, maybe not this particular one, but throughout time. I am going to do a podcast. It will be called the Light Meets Dark Podcast. On that podcast, we will be talking about dark topics, typically taboo things, and how to bring the light into that. I want to take this opportunity to share stories from, I want to talk to trans people, and I want to have a heart to heart, and I want to learn what their experience is so that we can promote compassion. I want to hear the amazing work that Black and people of color are doing in the world, in the spiritual community, in the witch community. Thank you, Gary. Thank you, Jerry. Thank you, everybody, for being on. But yeah, I want to talk about the deep, dark shit. If for any of you that don't know me, I have been through a lot of shit in my life. I've struggled with a lot of things, a lot of sexual abuse. I was raised by an addict. My first daughter's father committed suicide 15 years ago now. And I found spirituality, and then later on found witchcraft. And so I have a very crazy, wild, but also beautiful story. And I want to share more of that. I haven't shared too much of that on my channel. And I want to share more of that. So stay posted, keep looking out on my channel for more things, and go sign up for my email so that you know more about what's going on. I am now on TikTok. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just trying that. I'm on TikTok. It's everything across my social medias is Darienne Empire. It's all the same to keep things easy for you. My oldest daughter is about to walk in right now. So thank you all so much. I don't even know how to get off of this live, but thank you all so much for being here. There's my daughter coming in now. I literally don't even know how to get off of this live, which is hilarious. That I don't know how to get off. So once I figure that out, then I'll skedaddle and I'll be off. I literally don't know how to get off of this live. Oh, here we go. Also, I'm still learning my equipment, obviously. So hopefully next time I will know how to work my equipment better. Yes, love wins. All right. I'm sending you all so much love. Keep the faith. Stay with your vision. Stay in the present moment where your power lies.